So last time we were talking about spiritual pride, right? When you're just so spiritual that you can probably see things better than everybody else. Some more warning signs to look out for when the message is being given and you've decided there's nothing I can learn here. I already know it all. When you either skip the Bible because you don't need it, or you look for extra biblical revelation, like for instance, Bethel Church and that nonsense, or whatever. But wherever you get your inspiration from, your revelation from, secret words that are given, secret prayer meetings, it's never from the pastor. It's never from church authority. It's never from the Bible. It's never from It's always when you're always separating yourself from others because you're so much more spiritual than them. And Proverbs warns us about this. It says, someone who withdraws from others, they're just seeking their own desire. And there's oftentimes what happens is we chase these mystical encounters with God because the rest of it isn't good enough. Reading the Bible, that's not spiritual enough. I need direct one-on-one God talking to me personally. And it's like, well, God is talking to you through the Bible, and you're ignoring all that to say that God's going to give me this special word that actually contradicts those other things, but it's fine. Another example is when you get into the weird and you can't be persuaded from it. Oh no, this is, I have these special revelations, these special dreams, and then you start changing the way you're talking. You no longer care about being relatable and people understanding you. You start inventing your own vocabulary. Um, I I was praying, and and I was praying in the spirit, and the my angel was whispering to me about how I needed to go over here and tell you this word, and then they'll give a word, and it's like, okay, that had nothing to do with anything that I'm actually going through. Another warning sign is while the message is being given, they're doing something. If you're doing something else, oh, I need to go and in the middle of the sermon talk to somebody. In the middle of the sermon, I need to go pray with somebody. In the middle of the sermon, I need to go, check my phone because I'm so important and all these things. These are subtle little warning signs that you need to listen to. The idea of, I'm so spiritual. I don't need anybody's help. I'm more spiritual than other people. The pastor is just, he's just whatever. And you find yourself always with these damaged people because they give you your value. And so these start picking up the attitude problems of these damaged people. Now, I'm not saying you shouldn't go and be helping people, but there is this kind of thing where we surround ourselves with people who need us just for no other reason than to validate our own existence. And that's not good. It's good to minister to people, but it's not good to use people as a way of fulfilling your own need for acceptance, need for love. Yeah, that's just not a healthy place to be in. When you feel like you don't have to stay faithful to ministry that you did because you're just too spiritual, you have other more spiritual things to do. So instead of talking with the leader of the thing, you'll instead go through other means because you don't like authority. You don't want to have to answer to anybody. You don't want to have to get the lectures. See, these are all warning signs. And when we have these attitudes of I know better than my authority, that's not good. Here's some good examples. Um, During the quarantine, our my I'm an associate pastor. Me and the other associate pastor and the senior pastor all had a little bit of a problem because our district head was wanting us to stop having services, and we didn't want to have to stop having services. We're not scared of the coronavirus, and it wasn't anything where the things that the media was trying to get us to be afraid of. We didn't feel like it was based on science. It was more based on fear mongering, and sure enough, in our state, it turned out to be true that it was just fear mongering. So here we are at the other end of it, but at that time, we really didn't have anything to stand on except for shaky science. Not really confirmed because it wasn't old enough of a virus for that to be confirmed. So we really had a problem with that. We closed the doors grudgingly, but we did it. I I'm still not sure if we did the right thing. I don't know. At the one side, you don't want to be rebellious, but on the other side, it's like people people are in need, and you're shutting your doors. This is not a good thing. We have to live for other people, not for our own safety. And if we get sick, we get sick. But we can't just abandon people. Anyways, so it's done. It's in the past. It's done. So then, a couple weeks later, we were talking with our district head, and so then they started changing the wording, trying to draw your own conclusions. And so they were saying, well, we're supposed to tell you this. And they were kind of like emphasizing that. I'm not going to say any more than that because I'm not trying to get anybody in trouble. But so then, we went and opened the doors back again because, we weren't being rebellious. We weren't going against anybody. But there was the idea that, we're so spiritual. We don't have to listen to our authority. We can just open our door if we feel like it because people need us. See that attitude? It happens very subtly. Here's the thing about pride. It can start from the most innocent of intentions. Oh, well, I just have a good idea for the pastor. Oh, well, I just, so innocent. But you gotta watch out because what starts in innocence will oftentimes develop into something nasty. Are you actively trying to bring unity in the church, or are you trying to get your own way? Can you be told what to do? Can you be under someone else's authority? Can you consider that you might be wrong? Do you keep going into spiritual stuff so you can get that spiritual high rather than tuning into God? These are things worth thinking about. You don't have to agree with me on everything that I'm saying, but here's what you do have to agree with. To grow as a Christian, you have to constantly be on your guard about pride.